CDJ's Journey, Carnivore Journey, week 2 is in the books. Let's check out how I did. All right, welcome back. Week 2 is in the books. How to go? Got to stick around to the end for that. Yeah, I know it's kind of like a clickbaity thing to get you to watch the video all the way through or fast forward through, but whatever. Anyway, so we'll go over some of the meals that I had, and I'll show you one of the meal prep things that you might not have seen before, and if you haven't, hope I would be honored to be the one to introduce you to it because it's awesome. Definitely going to do it again in the future videos. But let's check that out. Then we'll come back and I'll tell you some other stuff. Some good, some not so good, and where we're at. Welcome back, folks. So guess what we're doing today? The 2 vacuum sealed steaks, the New York strips that we got the other day. We are gonna do sous vide. So this is my little sous vide cooker. It's all right, not fantastic, but we are gonna try to do this one-handed. So yeah, vacuum sealed. These are dry brine for a day, and in they go. They fall in the bed. Oh God! Great job, Dave. Anyway, we are gonna let those go for a few hours, about 3 hours, 3.5 maybe, because they're frozen. And we'll see what they look like when they're done. Which they won't look good, I'll be honest with you, but they sure will be tasty. Oh, and we're gonna correct them not looking good, so yeah. Okay, so these have been cooking for almost 3 hours now. I'm gonna pull them out here in a little bit. They are not good looking. That's par for the course. But for those of you who are not familiar with sous vide, this is like a water bath, and you set it to a temperature. I set this one to 137 degrees because that's supposed to be the best for rendering out all the fat and making it as tender as possible. It's a little more closer to medium than I prefer, but it makes it super, super tender and juicy and delicious, so it's worth it. But when we pull these out of here, they're gonna be like a grayish color, and it doesn't look good at all. But then what we do is we dry them, we cool them down a little bit, and then we sear the crap out of them. So like the skillet that I was using the other day that was screaming hot, a little too hot to actually cook a steak on, is gonna be perfect for just searing these. So we'll cool them down, then we're gonna hit them with the hot skillet for like 90 seconds aside and the edges, and then they're gonna be perfect. So the beauty of this is you set it to the temperature, you let them cook, you can't overcook them, and they come out perfect every time. Good stuff. All right, so what we're doing now is it's been a little over 3 hours. Yeah, a little over 3 hours. Math, not my strong point. We're gonna pull these things out. So you can see here the color is not anything amazing. It looks kind of bland. But we're gonna open these things, pat them dry, throw them in the freezer, cool them down, stop the cooking process, and well, you'll see. Okay, so here's what they look like after they come out of the bath. Not that appetizing, but pat them dry. By the way, when you open those bags, there's going to be a lot of like juice, broth, whatever. I don't know what you. I did this wrong. It's that good. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of like juice and broth, or I don't know, broth, right? Broth. I save that stuff. Well, I drink it. But you pat them dry, and then I put them on a little bit of parchment paper so that they don't freeze to the cutting board. And then now these go in the freezer for about, depending on the size of the steak, these will probably go in for about 15 minutes. Cools them down so that when I sear the crap out of them, I don't cook them more, because they're only going to sear for about 90 seconds aside. But I want to stop that cooking process, and I want to actually cool them down so that I can sear it without cooking it even more than it already is. All right, got the pan going. Let's check it out. 480 and climbing. We're gonna let this one get ripping. All right, we're at about 700 degrees. These are fresh out of the freezer. We're gonna let those go for about 90 seconds aside. Don't forget to do the edges. Very important. Ooh. And that's it, folks. They are done. Okay, the steaks are done. One of the beautiful things, is that with sous vide, you don't have to let them rest. So normally you cook a steak and it's gotta rest, and the meat absorbs all the juices while it's resting. This, you just throw some butter on, and you can start digging in. My fiance is gonna get mad at me because I was supposed to call her down before this, but I am just gonna cut into it and show you quick. That's a dumb maneuver right there. Don't do that, kids. Perfection. Absolute perfection every time. Oh, can't even cut it. That is a home run. Oh my God. This is about 5 times better than just doing it in the pack. It's falling apart. I can't even cut it. This is amazing right here. I'll do more of these with ribeye and whatever else, but sous vide, highly recommended. Bon appetit. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the sous vide thing. That was delicious. How'd the rest of the week go? Or the rest of the week was good. I will come out and say it. You have to be very careful on carnivore with regard to brutal poops. Yes, I know. I'm sorry to be blunt, but it's a factor. Some people get very upset stomach. Some people have the other problem where they can't go. I am somewhere in the middle, and I'll be honest with you. There were a few times where I almost got caught off guard. So be very careful about that. Just be warned, especially if you drink coffee, which I do. I drink several cups of coffee in the first half of the day, and I think Joe Rogan called it disaster pants. The coffee is has a natural effect, and in combination with carnivore, it could have that effect. So some stomach issues should be had. If you have the other problem where you can't go, they say to up your fat. You're not having enough fat to make things progress easy enough. So that's one thing that was not fantastic, but it is what it is. I went into that knowing that, and yeah, so just be forewarned. Another thing that is not great, I don't think it's due to carnivore at all. I've done carnivore, I've done keto before several times. Like I said, I never dove right in, but I have a doctor's appointment. I was supposed to have a doctor's appointment a few weeks ago, and I'm actually glad I canceled it for scheduling reasons. And I had to update I take blood pressure. I've been on blood pressure medication for a while, and I took it in March. Was the last time I actually recorded like a good sample, and it was perfect. It was like 128 over 77 or something like that. It was in the 120s over the 70s, and that was taking, I believe at the time, just one blood pressure medication. I had been taking chlorthalidone before that, but that caused me to have a bit of gout, which completely caught me by surprise. That story might end up in another video, but I stopped taking that because it creates uric acid, which creates crystals in your joints and starts out in your toe. So right in the middle of filming, because I use my phone, I got a alarm for a reminder. Not quite sure where I left off. I think I was talking about coming off of chlorthalidone with the whole gout issue. So anyway, got to make some changes, and we'll get the blood pressure thing figured out one way or another. And I spoke for another couple minutes, so don't know where I left off or where I realized that the thing was going off. So meals this week were great. Had steak, had some hot dogs with no buns, had minimally processed from Costco. Those things are fantastic. I had burgers, no bun. Burgers. Some people are strict carnivore. I do add a little bit of cheese. The best cheese you can find, minimally processed. The harder cheese is better, like cheddar. Like a good hard cheddar is like almost zero carbs. There's several other ones you can use. I also like White American, depending on where you get it from. Burger patties and some eggs, like steak and eggs. It's fantastic. And the burger patties from Costco are minimally processed, so it's fantastic stuff right there. What else did I eat? Ground beef. Did I say that already? If I did, I'll edit it out, but you guys will never know the difference. Ground beef with butter is fantastic. Salt, butter, ground beef, and depending on how strict with the carnivore thing, you might add some spicy stuff. Why is it so spicy? I like spicy, so that's a little bit of a tough one to give up, but I figure. Anyway, so workouts have been great. I'm 52 years old, and I'm lifting some of the heaviest weights I've ever lifted. Actually, I'm lifting the heaviest I've ever lifted in my life. Curls, the heaviest. Bench press, the heaviest. Shoulders, I go easy on. I got a little bit of a shoulder issue with just some, I don't know if it's impingement or whatever. There's a physical therapy thing I could do. Anyway, I don't lift crazy heavy with the shoulders. Back, I do. I'm at about the heaviest I've ever been lifting. Back rows and lat pull downs. What else? I guess the triceps. They're kind of, probably the heaviest I'm ever kicking back. But yes, it's going really well, except for the blood pressure thing, and I think the brutal poop thing is whatever. But anyway, so how did we end up this week? I'm gonna try to keep this video short because the last one was 27 minutes, and I feel like you guys don't know me well enough to be like, I'm not watching 27 minutes of this guy. So hopefully this one comes in a lot shorter, even though with the sous vide thing could be, I don't know, have to cut it down. And like I said, I'll revisit the sous vide thing later. But anyway, so I started 2 weeks ago on Tuesday at 284.6 pounds. As it stands this morning, I was 269.3. That is 15.3 pounds. I am ecstatic. My fiance says she can tell a difference. Some of my family said, "Oh, you're losing weight." So good stuff all the way around. With the exception of the blood pressure thing, which I don't think is carnivore related. I really don't. I think something else is going on that we'll get that figured out. But here we are, 15.3 pounds in 2 weeks. So I am going to keep doing what I'm doing, and we'll see you here next week. And will the progress continue at this rate? I doubt it, but we'll see. Cool. Thanks for following along, and gently tap the like button. And if you're feeling kind of frisky, hit the subscribe button. These things are going to get better. I'm trying to figure out. Also, I got a handy dandy microphone. These microphones got to go back though, because I think they're only good for indoor use. Outdoor, they pick up too much noise. I got the windsock on it. It's still crappy, but so I'm trying. And I'm going to also try some different editing techniques. I'm also going to cut down the intro so it's not so long. I know you guys probably roll your eyes and get bored halfway through the intro. So we'll cut that down. We'll make some changes. But thank you so much for following and checking out what I got to say. And if there's questions or whatever, comments, let me know. All right. Thanks. Captain Dave out. See you next week.